Hello, everyone. Pat Down at MMA back with another DWCS breakdown. Our 14th episode so far. Third fight of week 7. There's some featherweight action between Kevin Vallejos and Cam Teague. Very fun fight. I can't wait to see this one because it should be fight of the night if it plays out how I expect it to. So, going to be kicking things off here first with Cam Teague. Cam Teague is 7-0. He represents Alabama. He is ridiculously active. He had 4 fights in 2023, and this will be his fourth fight this year. So he loves to keep that 4 fight a year activity, which would be incredible for a potential UFC fighter. He's finished 6 of his 7 fights, 4 by knockout and 2 by submission. So he's very well versed in all areas. And when I break him down, you'll kind of see that he's a very well-rounded fighter. His his main thing though is his pressure and his insane pace. He just puts a crazy pressure in on you, stays in your face the entire fight in boxing range and just constantly hits you. Not with the most power, but he is just going to volume strike you and break you down over the course of a fight. Almost all of his fights are finishes, and even the one he didn't finish, he ended up breaking down his opponent by the end of that fight. Every fight he's had so far, he has ended up breaking down his opponents. He has some incredible knees, especially in the clinch. It might be his best tool is those knees, is just ripping them, especially when he starts to break people down. Those knees are just such an effective weapon, and he gets better as the fight goes. So once he starts to break people down, he starts to really excel. He has some very, very quick strikes. He doesn't throw with power, so he's just kind of touching, 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 and that leads to quicker striking for him. And he is dangerous if you let him tee off, but normally he isn't the kind of guy that's going to knock you out quick, even though he does have some pretty quick knockouts on his record. It's not impossible. He does have some quick knockouts. He does use his jab a lot at range, but that's not where he wants to be. He wants to be in the pocket, in your face, slinging punches. He has some great body hooks, and Teague is a zombie in there. He gets cracked, but has an insane chin. Damage does not phase him. He will get hit by a ridiculous punch and just walk through it like nothing happened. Damage just has no impact on Teague. It's ridiculous. With that said, though, he doesn't have any head movement, and he does get hit a lot. He will be eating punches, especially in the early parts of fights, a lot because his goal is to break you down with his will and his pressure. So it works because of how good his chin is, but he does get beat up a little bit at the early stages of fights. His combinations are crisp and he has some sneaky, sneaky kicks, solid elbows, and just he's not very athletic, so he does get countered sometimes because of that. But overall, Cam Teague has some solid striking. On the ground, he has some really good top control, solid takedowns, but he's not really looking for those too often. He has used them when a fight goes to decision or longer on. He does use his takedowns a little bit, but mostly he just wants to be on the feet in your face. And I expect him to be that exact same style on DWCS. So he's just a badass Cam Teague. He's an awesome fighter, so fun to watch. And just another little knock, I guess, is he does have a low level of competition. But in his last fight, he got a UFC veteran in Austin Lingo, and he did what he does to everyone to Austin Lingo. Although he did have to endure some damage in the process, he ended up doing exactly what he wanted to do in that fight. So Cam Teague is just incredible, fun, pressure fighter in your face, just always going to be swinging, wants to brawl it out. Moving on to Kevin Vallejos now. So Kevin Vallejos is actually a DWCS vet, and he's 22 years old. He has a 13-1 record, but he does stand at only 5'7", so he will be at a significant height disadvantage coming into this fight. His only loss was to Gene Silva on the Contender Series last year. We saw how good Gene Silva has ended up being in the UFC, so that's not a loss he should be knocking up his head on. And he's actually the only person that took Gene Silva the 15-minute distance, and he actually took a round off of Gene Silva. He won the first round of that fight. So Kevin Vallejos is more than competent in his own right. He has really nice power. 9 of 13 wins come by knockout. So he is slinging those hands and usually getting the finish with them. Fast, fast hands. And he's very patient too. That's the thing. Like it's very nice to see a guy that is very technical and knows when to attack, but also is just so quick in his attacks. And that's what Vallejos is. His kicks are quick. He has some brutal leg kicks that he breaks opponents down with throughout the fight. His clinch elbows and knees are incredible. Oh my God. He rips people off the clinch and just rips them with those elbows and knees. He throws always in combination. It's very rare that you see Vallejos throw one shots. He's always throwing in multiple combination shots. His body shots are also really nice. He just rips to the body like a clean clean shot out of nowhere to the body in the middle of a combination, and it's very crisp. Great head movement from Vallejos. He can dodge out of the way of strikes and some great footwork. He does cut off angles very well and knows how to cut off an angle and then strike off of it and create his own offense off of the defense, which is great. For some of his lackluster traits, he can be hit on his back foot and he does swing a bit wild at times. He slows down when the fight gets deeper, but he doesn't really gas out. He kind of just slows down like anyone would. So it's not really a big flaw. It's just, I think Teague gets better as the fight goes on. So you could see that here in this fight for sure. On the ground, he has some very slick back takes and chokes, some solid takedown defense. He's a bit weaker on top, but has some effective volume ground and pound, and just has some good recovery and a good chin overall. So Vallejos wants to stand on the feet. He is not looking for takedowns. He wants to stand on the feet and strike. And my guess is that Teague will be doing the exact same thing in this fight. These guys are going to absolutely go to war. They are just going to sit there in the pocket and swing at each other with everything they have. And this should be an incredible fight. I am leaning that Kevin Vallejos gets the win here. I think I have to just because he does seem like the overall better fighter. Teague just kind of zombies his way through everything, and it's awesome to watch. But against a guy like Vallejos, I'm not sure if it'll work. I do think normally Teague is the one that breaks people down and gets the later finishes and whatever. But I think if anything, maybe Vallejos may be more likely to do that in this fight. But don't rule Cam Teague out to do that. Anytime you rule Cam Teague out, you'll be proven wrong. So Cam Teague is very, very live to win this fight and do it in the style he normally does because Vallejos does slow down a bit at the end of fights, and he does get hit more when the fight goes later. So Teague could take advantage of that for sure. But I think I have to lean Kevin Vallejos here. I'll probably say a unanimous decision because I think Teague is just so tough. I mean, he just is, like I said, unfazed by any damage. So I think Vallejos by unanimous decision is the safest pick, but I think there is a chance that Vallejos does finish this fight late in the third round, maybe late in the second, but probably third round. I don't know. Vallejos is a great finisher, and he's fought better guys for the most part than Teague has. It's just Teague is just so, so tough. Like I can't underestimate how tough Teague is. But give me Kevin Vallejos by unanimous decision as I guess a safer pick for this one. I want to thank everyone for coming on and watching episode 14 now of my DWCS breakdowns. We'll be dropping the next two episodes I still have left for this week very shortly. So stay tuned for those, and I hope you guys enjoyed and look forward to the next one. Thank you.